Hi there, I'm personal stylist and style expert Noelle Cellini. In this video I wanted to give you some tips on what looks good on virtual calls, virtual conferencing, since a lot of us are doing a lot of those these days. Now the first thing is we're going to take a lesson from Jackie O, and that means if we look at her wardrobe, she only wore one print ever. That's it. She always stuck with solids, and there's a reason. Even if we look at other celebrities and photos of them on the red carpet, about 98% is solids. They rarely ever wear prints. Now the reason for that is that solids do photograph better. Remember, we're taking a 3D object, you, and we're making it, we're flattening it. So while prints are not bad, and I don't like to label anything bad, solids are better when it comes to video conferencing or Zoom calls or anything like that. So the other thing we want to think about aside from solids is that we want to try to do very saturated, very colorful solids. So I wore this top the other day, and then I wore this turquoise necklace with it because the red and the turquoise really pop together. So it could be, it doesn't have to be both colors, but again, it really looked stunning together. And it's very, very flattering because, as we know, film isn't really, it can be not as flattering and not as a good representation as how it is in person. Now the other thing to keep in mind too is that while a necklace is great, you have to make sure that the necklace is shorter, so almost as close to the neck as possible, and that might not be something you have in your wardrobe. Maybe you're used to wearing things lower, and that's okay. Just pointing out that, you know, we don't usually get to see a lot of the top half of the body, so it should be a little bit higher necklace, kind of like this. And in general, so this necklace is a little bit longer. While it's stunning, I will say that I've only worn this once. I bought it because I love the color and it was on sale, but necklaces at this length are kind of a weird length in general, and I always advise my clients against it because it tends to fight with the bust line. And again, we have to make sure we have just the right top to wear with it. So ones that are always closer to the neck are better. Now here is just to show you, here's a print, which I love leopard print. Most women usually do, and is a-okay, but again, solids are better. They're going to read better on film, whether it's moving, so a video, or a solid, or a picture, a stationary picture. So we want to stick with solids, try to make them as saturated as we can. Prints are okay, but there's a reason also why we look in television audiences, and if you've ever been to a show or know of somebody who has, usually they tell you don't wear white and don't wear black, and try to wear rich, deep, really beautiful colors. Again, they tell people to stay away from prints. And if you look in an audience and any talk show, anything like that, you look in the audience is very colorful. It is not white, not black, and there are hardly any prints. So a print is fine. Again, just on film or on camera, it tends to dance, which means it moves. In person, I love this for a client and anybody pretty much, because it keeps the eye moving, so it can detract away from like a large bust or broad shoulders or wide hips or a tummy or something like that. But on film, it's not the best because they can kind of dance, and they, especially stripes, they create this kind of like they're physically moving on film. So again, not bad. It's just that solids are better when it comes to any sort of virtual conferencing, phone calls, things like that. And also too, this has a little bit of, not a turtleneck, but it just dips a little bit. And we want to, if anybody has watched any episode of America's Next Top Model, we know that we always want to keep our neck. We don't want to lose our neck, as Tyra Banks would say, because our neck is where we get our height from. Meaning, if we close that up with like a turtleneck or a cowl neck or something, that tends, we can't see where we are, and that tends to shorten us and make us look squat. Just like with knee length, when we don't want to dip below the knee, because then that means we're losing the knee. And again, remember, seeing skin, even if it's the neck or even it's just the knee, that illusion of skin helps add the illusion of height, which helps balance out width. So we never want to lose our neck, which is also another point too. If you can, I'm just working here in my closet. I don't have a tripod, so it's just sitting on my rack for my jewelry. But if you can, try to arrange the camera up higher. You can see how flattering that is versus down low, because again, we get to see more of that neck, and that's more flattering. So arrange the camera higher, and then if you can. And also too, a lot of times why we don't like ourselves in pictures is because we're looking face on, and that's usually not the most flattering for most people. So if you notice, I'm always kind of turning to the side. Yeah, my hair is styled to the side, but to the side is a little bit more flattering as well. So we don't have to be like a movie star, a rock star with wind blowing through our hair, but just a little bit to the side can be a little bit more flattering than face on. So we want to stick with saturated colors. Here again is a great, just a nice kind of, again, beautiful, rich, colorful top. Ideally, even though I've shown necklaces, earrings are a little bit more flattering than necklaces. So here I just have a pair of earrings here. Why? Because again, and usually I like something just in general across the board, I always like earrings that move, because again, we're taking a 3D object, you, and we're flattening it. So while this necklace is stationary and it's lovely and it creates a nice dark deep contrast to this olive, earrings would be my pick over a necklace, because, and ideally earrings that move. It doesn't have to be as long as this, but earrings that move, because we're adding some movement, we're helping break up this, what we're making a 3D object so flat. This is why a lot of times people won't like themselves in pictures. Well, because maybe they're wearing like this dress is like a pencil on the bottom, and people won't like themselves in that, versus seeing themselves in a picture with a dress that has A-line or some flounce or some movement to it. Because we're taking a 3D object and flattening it, we tend to look better, even if we don't like it in person. We like ourselves better in pictures where we're wearing a skirt or a dress that has some movement to it. So the same thing. So dark, rich, saturated colors, earrings if you can, necklaces, keep them shorter. Beware of covering up too much of the neck with tops or scarves or anything like that. This is not the time to wear scarves if you're, again, thinking about wanting to look the most flattering options for video conferencing. And then even though I showed these really rich colors, it doesn't always, if you don't have that in your wardrobe, again, don't run out and get something. Even something like this terracotta color is pretty, and that would still work with, you know, gold, silver jewelry, whatever you had, colored jewelry, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, I tend to wear a lot of winters, so I have that in my wardrobe, but whatever you have, it's better than wearing white or black or gray or things like that. So we want, again, think of whatever colors you have in your wardrobe. And then lastly, I always tend to wear a bright lip color. It's just, I don't wear a lot of makeup in general, so I always just wear red, a purple, or a hot pink, and that just wakes up my face, whether I'm in person or on a video call. So if you're not into a lot of makeup, at least try to like color in your eyebrows, because eyebrows frame the face. And I've always said this would be my one island piece. If I was lost or stranded on a desert island, forget the mascara, forget the blush or the lipstick, I would always carry an eyebrow pencil, because it really helps define your face. Glasses or not, it really helps, again, add some depth and dimension. We know how weird it looks when people have no eyebrows, so the same can be true for video conferencing calls. So hopefully that gave you some good tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.